In 1955, Robert Stine wanted to photograph a non-Hollywood version of Marilyn Monroe. So they put her in a camel hair coat and they tamed her famous blonde curls and they walked her through the Grand Central Terminal onto the subway. And no one noticed her. Marilyn Monroe was just Norma Jean, just holding the straps while riding along on the subway. And when they returned, they went back up to the streets of New York, and Marilyn turned to the photographers and she said, "Do you want to see her?" Marilyn then took off that coat. She fluffed up her curly hair. She arched her back, and people suddenly swarmed her. Marilyn Monroe came alive. That's the power of the alter ego that Todd Herman talks about in his book, The Alter Ego Effect, where you transform from man to legend. Inside every one of us lives a legend. You have a boldness, a surety, a swagger, an intensity about you. But you keep that superhero, you keep that legend locked up under lock and key. I need you to unlock it and throw away the key. When it comes to the 100-milers, when it came to breaking the world record for record pull-ups, and even speak in front of large crowds, David Goggins turns into Goggins. It's where he transforms. Where he transforms and he channels that darkness into unstoppable power. James Lawrence does the same thing. James Lawrence was the guy that we talked about in the earlier podcast where he did 50 Ironmans, which is a bike ride, it's a swim, it's a marathon. He did 50 of those in 50 states in 50 days. But see, James Lawrence didn't complete that. He didn't complete that feat. The Iron Cowboy, his alter ego, did. Bo Jackson told Herman the same thing. He said backstage, he told him, he turned to Herman, he said, Bo Jackson never swung a bat. Bo Jackson never ran a down. One of the best players in both baseball and professional football. He said, Bo Jackson didn't do any of that. See, he channeled an alter ego. He fell in love with Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th series. He saw that, and Bo Jackson channeled that and became the monster on the field of play. By nature, man, I'm an introverted, I'm a shy guy. Yet I bring Robert West out when it's time to sell. Robert West was my old radio name when I used to work at a small radio station here. They said, use your name and then fictitious last name. And my first name is Robert. It's Robert Marsh. So I thought, okay, Robert, and then just West pop out. And that became my alter ego. I was terrified when getting on the air. That's when I had to channel that Robert West. And I bring Robert West out whenever I need to sell, whenever I need to make a speech, whenever I need to shoot a video or record this podcast. I Am Legend comes out. And you have it too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's right there. You're just afraid of it. You're afraid of your alter ego running rampant like a California wildfire. You're afraid that left unchecked, your alter ego will just burn out of control. You're also afraid of success too. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But you are. Most of us are afraid of success. I know I've been. You want it. You want the massive success, yet you tend to throw a little self-sabotage in there because you don't feel like you're truly deserving. You don't feel like you're truly worthy of it, given where you grew up, how you came up, where you stand today. See, you know all of your darkness. You know all of your mishaps. You know all of your mistakes. You know all of your close calls. So you self-sabotage yourself. Shonda Rhimes did the same thing. Shonda Rhimes owned ABC. What was that? Thursday nights? It was Shondaland. She owned it, man. She was the lady who created Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, two of the best series ever, man. And she struggled with this too. She struggled with success. As successful as she was, what she would do is she would hide her awards when her friends would come over because her friends were struggling writers, and she was a hit. And what she did is she used her obesity. She overate her fatness to become the great mitigator. See, what it does is it evened the playing field for her. That way, well, I'm Shonda Rhimes, I'm fat, and my friends are struggling, so it's offsetting penalties. See, it's that self-sabotage I'm talking about. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think for a second. Who is your alter ego? And you can create this, whether it's a pair of glasses that Martin Luther King wore a pair of glasses, and you'll see this in many of the speeches he gave. He didn't use them because he needed to see. He actually used it because the glasses became an alter ego for him. It could be a pair of glasses. It could be a superhero that you attach yourself to. It could be someone that you create on your own. I mean, Beyonce is Sasha Fierce. That's her alter ego. She created an album off of that. So what's your alter ego? You got to bring that shit out. You get to create it. You get to make it be whatever you want to be. And you make it fucking unstoppable. Because, see, your living depends on this. Living a no limit, big shit, oh my God kind of life. So when you get fired, when you get hit with some sort of illness, when you're overweight, when you're asked to give a speech, when you got to go demand a pay raise, a promotion, or a damn fucking job. Don't just hand your application up front. Don't just hope your shit gets seen on Indeed. No, man. That marathon you want to run, that book that you want to write, that person that you want to meet, that other one that you want to ask out, that business that you want to start. Oh, AI ain't got nothing on you. Artificial intelligence. Oh no. It's an alter ego, bro. It's the realness, the realness that's inside of you, yet you keep it dampered down. And what you got to do is, it's like a lever on a train track. In these big levers, what you know what they do is when they switch tracks, there's this lever and they push it. And you push it, and all of a sudden the whole track gets changed. The course of direction, the direction gets or the train goes in a different direction. It gets pivoted just a little bit. So when you hit that wall, when you want to quit, when you just get asked to do something that you've never done before, it terrifies the shit out of you. When you just see an opportunity, switch. Out comes that alter ego. The coat comes off. The curls get fluffed up. The back gets arched. The alter ego comes out. It's what Marilyn Monroe did, right? Norma Jean went from Norma Jean to Marilyn Monroe. See, Norma Jean died early. Marilyn Monroe lives on forever. It's a legend. It's legend time for you. Stop pushing down what wants to come out of you. Stop. Because there are times that you need it. So you need to unleash it. I am legend. Stay in the sales life. Be legendary today. And I'll see you next time on the podcast.